Okay, Mal, I gotta ask you a question since we're here in this moment.
Hmm.
Where did your username come from?
that is
SK.
a that is a long and boring conversation. So, in my youthful infinite wisdom, when I first started gaming, one one of my first online PC games was Unreal Tournament. And I had this. Well, my I was playing on my parents' computer at the time because I was still living at home. I was actually still in high school, so like I started gaming on their piece of shit compact, like store bought compact that had like nothing but an onboard video card. Um, and eventually down the line, I got some money, bought like what was considered like a budget video card at the time, like if anyone remembers the 3D Effects company and their Voodoo line. I ended up buying one of their Voodoo cards. So here I am playing Unreal Tournament with brand new video card and all that, and I decided that it was time for me to like make my own gamer name, since I was like kind of hardcore into Unreal Tournament and all the mods and shit that came out for it. So I end up coming. Keep in mind, this is before 9/11. I came up with the cool and edgy name of Suicide Killer, and so I ran with that stupid name for a very long time. Probably a good 2-3 years, and then I eventually like there was this mod called Strike Force for Unreal Tournament, which I started getting really hardcore into, and since it was a mod, it had like a very small community, so small that pretty much everyone knew each other. At any point in time, it would have like maybe 300 players playing, like 300 players max playing it on a good night. And so everyone shortened like rather than calling me rather than spell type when you're in the middle of a first person shooter, you don't have time to type out someone's fucking full name. So everyone would shorten Suicide Killer down to SK. So years pass, and eventually I move on from Unreal Tournament and I start playing MMOs. And one of the first MMOs I started playing was, what was it? God damn, I'm blanking on its name now. Well, anyway, I'll just move on to WoW. So I eventually, no, not EverQuest. It starts with an L. Shit. I'll think of it later. So eventually, I make my after playing numerous MMOs, I eventually make my way to WoW, World of Warcraft, and so I decided that I didn't want to enter my character's name.
Sorry, you're kind of cutting off a little bit.
I'm cutting out.
You were cutting out a little bit.
Oh well, like I was saying, eventually I made my way to WoW, and I didn't want my name to be Suicide Killer, especially after this was literally after the fact that 9/11 happened. So then I basically just changed it to SK. I decided to kind of like spell it out in some random ass way, and I've stuck with that name ever since. And then eventually I started playing Gundam, and like my JP name, like my JP account, my PSN JP account was Gundam X Maoh, because at the time Gundam Build Fighters was airing, and like Maoh was like my favorite character, because like typically, like whenever I watch something, it's typically my favorite characters are always the sidekicks and like the comedic relief characters, and so like that's what my PSN JPN name became.
Isn't that all of them?
What do you mean?
I was just saying, isn't that all of them? Like, they're all goofy in some way or fashion.
Yeah, the sidekicks. Yeah, so like
okay.
That became my Japanese PSN account, and then I eventually found I found Gundam Nation or Gundam Nation through the podcast, and eventually like started watching the SBR streams and shit like that. And then he just started calling me Mal, and that kind of just stuck.
Okay, I see.
So that's the long, boring ass explanation of where
It just.
come from.
I mean, that's kind of cool. At least, I didn't know you came in around the Bill Fires era. Like a lot of the people I've talked to who have been in the Gundam kind of streams.
Yeah, since forever.
This is gonna. Yeah, they've been around since forever, even back in like the MHQ forum days. So, I mean, that's how I know Yazi. Technically.
Oh, yep. I didn't start getting vocal with these guys until like the was it
So good.
Facebook group, and I only just hung out in the on the Mecha Talk forum. So then afterwards I started getting more vocal, and now I'm mod on both.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like it's a case of like everybody kind of knows how I came in, which is that I kind of found Gundam in its second year, and I used to do the clip show, the end of the year clip show podcast is basically for everybody. So like at the end of the year, and that's kind of how I got involved with everybody around me. So, but that said, like I say that like it feels like you've been like everybody I know has been around, and you came in around the Build Fighters era, when in reality Build Fighters was like 8 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Which in my mind is a long time ago.
No, I think it was 2015. No, 2013, right?
For some reason, I always remember it being 2014, but I could be wrong.
I'm pretty sure it was 2013.
You don't know, yeah, because I remember one of my friends' house, my best friend was still alive, that it was like in late 2014. I think Try was airing at the time, but I could be wrong.
Let's say 20 Japanese order, which is what we all watched, which was October 7th, 2013 to 2014 of March.
Mm-hmm. So that's why, because it was a fall show. I do remember that.
Yeah, that was like one of my my busiest times in watching anime, because there was a point where I was watching 4 shows at once, which was like I think it was Build Fighters, it was Buddy Conflicts, and Mitsuko.
Oh, that's
Buddy Conflicts.
And all
I'm so glad I jumped ship.
And all 3 of them I liked, but 2 of them
I just got bored with Buddy Conflicts.
2 of them worked out, the others did not.
Yeah, I saw
Hey, we just
what was in fall of 2013?
We were
a Bill Fighters one.
Oh
yeah.
I was thinking about that not too long ago, and I was like, this was a lot longer ago than I thought it was.
Yeah, I think Bill Fighters came out when Full Boost came out.
Yeah, it did actually.
Yeah, because that's I
Full Boost came out in 2013. Yeah, 2013.
Maybe?
Yeah, and because Soulbro would always see Maoh always talking and stuff like that, like as the character essentially, probably using his PSN name. Soulbro just went with the PSN name, and that's kind of.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, my nickname, online name is nothing special. It was a nickname for me because
I gave my
based on my real
boring origin story.
Oh. Mine was just because
I'll dig it up on for the archive.
Mine was just because I was I just gotten on several anime fan sub IRC communities right when I graduated from college, and I couldn't think of a good nickname, but the Enron scandal was big in the news. So I was like, I'll just call myself Enron Accountant. So that used to be my nickname for
I like that.
a year or two, and then I just shortened it to Enron. I've been using the same nickname for 20 years now.
I figured
Yeah.
it was something like that, but it was that's kind of just funny in general.
Yeah. And for me, it was either choose between Yazi or Yasman. Either one, but Yazi probably a little bit easier on the tongue and less corny.
You guys got a room up?
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, we're just playing. How many?
Yeah,
yep,
but
nine
we're
holes?
in
Oh,
the
okay, that's
middle
cool.
of it, so but it's traditional rules, so it's gonna go fast. So
Yeah.
Oh, Enron, was the fourth episode better for
Yeah, no. The
background?
fourth episode was just like the first two. Like it was way better than the third. Like that third episode genuinely does suck. Like whoever it was that said it, like, I think it might have been Dalo. I don't know, but whoever said it sounded like G Reco.
that was me.
That was absolutely correct. Like that's
They-
exactly what it felt. What it felt like.
Yeah, they might have had a different episode director or a different writer for that specific episode.
Yeah,
I would definitely buy the different director thing because it just felt so much different than the other three episodes, and it was just so terrible. But the fourth episode was fine. So
Yep.
Nice shot.
And still all kinds of craziness
Nice shot.
too, especially the.
it's it is crazy. Like even though like I said, even though it was directed much better, but it was still fucking nuts. Like the whole. But I think that's just the premise of the show is just kind of really
the
ridiculous.
premise it's goofy to
and out
begin with,
there,
so you know, just to expect some fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw those egos.
I was
go
so
off
close
in
to
front of me.
Get a hole in one on the first course.
I'll
So close.
never. Mal will never forget.